Hello there, this is RomWills coming back at you with yet another car video. Yeah, let's be real, jocks be getting theirs. Yeah, this a body game video. I thought about this last night. I said, I ain't give y'all a body game video in a while. Shit, what the heck is this on here? Gotta get my glasses right so I can see out here and everything. But I was watching the NFL draft last night. When NFL draft, I had to wait a while before my team came up, and then they got an offensive lineman. But ain't surprised. I thought they'd get an edge rusher. They really needed an edge rusher and maybe another running back. But let me go over here. Let me say hi to my buddy. Hey, how you doing? I'm all right. I'll be back through in a bit.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
All right, you too. Yeah. Was one of the things, though, I was talking about, like watching that football game, watching that football draft last night, that game. And before I got briefly interrupted, you gotta say hi to my friends and everything. But come on now, slow your ass down. I gotta turn in. This motherfucker like about to turn, I'm coming and stuff. Hell no. Anyway, I was watching the draft last night, and my team, the Washington Commanders, got an offensive lineman, which was a big surprise. It was a big surprise because they really needed an edge rusher first. Maybe they'll get one like further down. We'll see. They could use another running back too. But they were concerned about protecting their gem, Jaden Daniels. I can understand that. And they don't need him running as much. They try and keep him in shape, try and keep him in the pocket. But I was thinking about it, and there were a couple of running backs that went in the first round. And I was like, wow, because one was 5'8". What's his name? Genty, I think. I ain't really follow college ball like that. He's like 5'8" and a half, 200, between 200 and 210. What the hell? I'm just nosy. Got something up here. Anyway, right? He's between 210 and 220. And then another running back they got closer to my height. He was about 5'10 and 3/4 and some dude out of North Carolina. He was between 210 and 220. I was like, man, these guys about the same weight as I am. Because I'm over 200 and everything. I'm over 200. Oh, snap. Something happened here. Got the fire department. Okay, let me just go past here. Something happened. But anyway, I was thinking about that. Because I'm going to tell you what. Because you got some guys promoting body games saying, well, you got to be lean and you got to be... you gotta have only a certain amount of body fat and everything. That's some bullshit. Like I said, it depends. Just be in your best shape. Because one thing, when they had different body builds on there and everything, because a wide receiver is definitely built different from an offensive tackle. And then you had edge rushers, everything. And most of them had their girlfriends right there. You could tell most of them had their girlfriends right there and everything, but they different body builds. Because, like when you're talking about, like, an offensive tackle, I remember this young lady, we used to call her Earth Angel, because Man, she had a body, but that's what she liked. She liked those big old dudes, because as she said, she needed a man who could flip her. She needed a man who could flip. She needed a man who could flip her. So it was just like, okay, yeah, okay. And that's one thing when you talk about jocks, period. They be getting this. I mean, come on now. If you go back into the day, it was all about jocks versus nerds. And what is the one thing jocks have? They got those body builds. They got those body builds. They look like they play some sport. In fact, I had said that several times, really. You could tell a lot about what type of body type of woman like. Just ask her what her favorite sport is. Because when they be checking out some different sports and everything, they ain't always about just the sport itself. It's about the bodies. Like, you get some women like those, like slimmer basketball players and stuff. Okay, that's saying what they like. But you get those women who like those football player builds, that's saying it. Because, and you know what's funny, right? Just talking about myself, I remember I had mentioned a couple times this dude, you know who he is, and 3 women came after me. This back when I only had about 250 subs and stuff, but he knew about me from some other stuff I did beforehand. I ain't just started out on YouTube. And I had mentioned something somewhere about a woman thinking I was at this hotel party. This woman thought I might have been one of the Washington Redskins because they were there just because of my body build. And the dude was stupid because he ain't never seen my full body. Even some dudes who will watch like some of these videos, they'll say, oh, you this, you that. They have never seen my full body, never seen my full height. And remember, you looking at a man who was doing car videos in his 50s and 60s and stuff. Yet, my body build is still comparable to an NFL running back. Body weight is still comparable to an NFL running back and everything. But that dude didn't want to believe me. But when I get attention from the ladies, I've had some women actually say, hey, did you play football? It's ironic because when I was in high school, I actually played soccer. I was a lot slimmer. But my body build now is around that of running back right now. Now, when I had even some more weight on me, they think like linebacker or something. But they would think I played something. And they go crazy over it. I had some women go crazy over it. They like, yeah. They like that big football play. They like that dude right there. Or whatever sport it is. Like I knew a woman, she liked track runners and stuff. She was going crazy in the gym over this dude who was always running. She'd just be there staring at him. But that tells you a lot. But jocks be getting theirs though. Jocks be getting theirs. In fact, let me shout out Cousin T-Talk because he did a video about that. About jocks and cheerleaders. Why they be getting along. And you know those cheerleaders got those tight bodies. And in fact, I've known some cheerleaders. Shit, they like those athletes or something. Like, one of the things, even though I've said it several times, I said, hey, just get the best body you can. I would say in general, let me add to that. If you need some type of goal, look like you play some type of ball. Just look like it. Just look like it. Whether you slim or even if you're a big guy, because like I said, you get some women that like those big old guys, big old hominoid eating dudes. Dudes be about 6'3", 6'4", and everything. And in fact, you know what's interesting? Thinking about that, there was some lineman they drafted early. I didn't know his name, but they kept making a big deal of his arm size. They say even though he was big, he had short arms. That's one thing in those pro sports that cracked me up. They be looking at everything. They say his arms were short. like I think 32, 33 length. And for a guy that big, that's actually short, because actually my arm length is like 36, 37. And I wasn't as tall as that dude. But they be looking at everything, wingspan, everything. But I'm going to tell you what, women do that too. They look at that body build too. Like some of them, they are like that more slimmer dude, but still look like he can be a jock. Some of them are like that big old dude. Like if it's a big old dude over 6 feet, all of that, he look like he need big hominy grit eating dude. I always say hominy grits, but big hominy grit eating dude. He need to look like he can flip something. Like I said, I knew this woman. She said she liked those big old offensive lineman types, because she said they can flip her. In fact, she had went out with this guy he had played in the NFL. I'll just say he played with the Giants. I'll leave it at that. But this was a while ago. But that thing, like if you're gonna like really do something, if you're really gonna get in the body game, I say yeah, get your best body, but look like you can play some ball or something. Because women go crazy over that. When you get those cheerleaders or women checking it out, and let's be real on something. When you be seeing some of these women checking out some guys, or getting with some guys, or even some of these teachers, who they getting with? Like some of these teachers getting with these young guys, a lot of times they getting with the jocks. Now, this ain't to say they ain't gonna get with a nerd or something like that, but I'm saying the general thing. Please don't hit me up with some exception or something like that. And even then, even if they don't get with that type of guy, I mean, there's always going to be an exception. But if you're going to go with the general rule, the general thing, the most likely thing, if you look like you play some ball, if you got that body build like you play some type of ball, you're going to get a woman. Because they going crazy over the body. I mean, yeah, we can talk about body game for your general health, and that's important. Your general well-being, mental well-being, feeling good. But let's be real. When dudes looking up body game and everything, they want to know what they can do to use it to get play, to get a woman. Guys ain't thinking about that other stuff. So you need to have that body that look like you can play ball. And shit, let's just be real. If you in the hood or something, the HODD, I always spell it that way, just go with it. If you're in the hood or something, you go to some of those like basketball courts, some of those hood basketball courts, there's always some women watching. Or if you playing football or something, they checking you out. I remember like back in the day, I was over my uncle's house, may he rest in peace, with my step-grandfather, rest in peace. All they were doing was showing me some football, right? There was the neighbor. Oh, she was sitting back like, yeah, hey. She was sitting there watching everything. They loved that. And one thing, too, I would say even watching guys play, being active and all of that, that turns on some women. Many women. Like I said, there's always an exception, but do you want to go with the likelihood or you want to go with the exception? Because the exception, that takes a lot. But if you think about it, like check out that video I put from Cousin T talk about athletes and cheerleaders and everything, why they be getting along. And the cheerleaders I've known cheerleaders at 2 different schools. The guys they would get with look like they played ball. Indeed, even some of the women I've seen at local gyms, when I see the guys they would get with or be with, look like they played some type of ball. Women go crazy over that. In fact, I knew this one woman, she was, I ain't gonna say what sport it was, But she was a manager for this team. It wasn't a regular sport. I thought the sport lacrosse. And this guy she was hooking up with, without him really doing anything, was a lacrosse player. Women be checking all that out. In fact, I remember another woman. She was damn near drooling just thinking about some lacrosse players. Like, but they jocks though. Women love jocks. Women love that. Now, some people will think, you get some Bammers, and I do mean the word Bama, think, well, they're just checking them out because of their status. It's like, no, they ain't. First of all, like a lacrosse player. Let me use that example. What kind of status they got? A lot of people ain't checking out lacrosse. The pro leagues ain't that big yet. They checking out their body. They loving that. They sitting there watching that. When they checking out sports and stuff, all the time, it ain't all the times they know what's going on with the particular sport. They just know that particular person got a nice body. Shoot, I remember back when I was in the 7th grade. Back in the 7th grade, we had this school. It only went up to the 8th grade. We went from 1st to 8th grade, but we had a basketball team. And it had this one guy, and I never forget what some ladies said. Say they wanted to check out this one guy. And he was known for being muscular. He was known for being muscular. And I never forget what one of them said. Say, yeah, we gotta go check him out in some shorts. Shit. That's a. If you're going to get into body game, look like you could play ball. If you haven't played ball. Now, for guys who played ball, and that's one thing I've seen, though, and this is regardless of the guy's personality or whatever. If he played ball, it's been... In fact, I had to really think hard of somebody who played ball. Well, I can think of a couple people. But it's rare that somebody's played ball and getting no parts of the pussy. Ain't getting some woman. And really, even then, every single one I can think of was getting some play. Had played ball before, gotten some. And that's the important thing. That's the important thing. So, I mean, you have to really be thinking about that. You really have to be thinking about that. If you're going to be, like, if you ain't play ball or anything, at least look like it. That's why it's important to play something. And then, whatever your body type is, you can tell a lot about the woman. Because some women, they checking for track runners. Some women checking for swimmers. And their body types. Some women checking for basketball players. Some women checking for football players. And then, even with football, let me use football for a great example. You got different body types, because it was interesting. Whenever they had the draft pick come up, they would talk about their height. I mean, and they would be getting it down. They'd be getting it down to like the very inch, like 5/8, 3/4, and all of that. Yeah, girl, I'm talking into something. Anyway, they would get it down to whatever level they would have to get it to, but they had different weights. Like you talk about the wide receivers and corners, they were generally in the 190 range. The running backs, with a couple running backs they were in between 210 and 220. That's why I say I'm at. And I was like, oh man, I'm a 60-year-old man in the same range as these professional running backs who got nothing to do but work out. I ain't working out I'm working out, but not to the same extent they are. They ain't got those linemen, 300 pounds and stuff. You had those edge rushers, they had to be fast. They were like around 250 and all of that. And like I said, most of them had women. Because, I mean, here's the bottom line. Women get turned on by bodies. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. Ain't something that you really have to think hard about. Women get turned on physically by bodies. That's the thing that turn them on. Now, you get some guys saying, oh, it's just a face. The women, yeah, they're like a handsome face and all of that, but they don't stop at the neck. Anybody who says it's just the face, they ain't turning it down. Think about when the woman is naked with a man. Naked. He's naked. They gotta like looking at whatever he presenting naked. They gotta like it. They gotta have it. And they gotta think about it. Sure. And it says a lot, whatever. Cause I still remember that young girl I was dealing with one time. I was Uncle Rom to her until she saw me in person. She said I was taller and more muscular than she thought I was. She had to stop calling me Uncle Rom. Yeah. But hold on a second, y'all. I'm gonna get some money out up here at this bank. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the deal. 1 second for y'all, 5 minutes for me. I'll be back in a second. All right, y'all. Like I said, 5 minutes for me, a second for y'all. I had to get some money out. Stop by the bank and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. Women like bodies. Women like bodies. I promote body game for a reason. It does give a clue as to what type of body a woman like. Just if you having a conversation with her, you trying to find out what sports she like. That's a big clue. Now she could like all of them, and it depends. Whatever the case, yeah, she could like gymnastics or something. She checking out bodies though. That's part of what women are doing. That's part of what women are doing, and don't think. Like, don't be stupid and think they only get with one type of body. See, that's the stupidity. Like, hey, dude, what's up, man? There was some dude just standing out in the middle of the road right there. I don't know what's up. Maybe he trying to get some. I don't know. Yeah, that's something else. Anyway, right? Don't think the women like different types of bodies and everything. That's why part of the thing is, I would say, just get your best body and see who like it. Like, you could be a big old dude, big hominy-grit eating dude, but there might be some woman who like that shit. She want to be flipped. Or you could be a slimmer size. She like that type of body. She just like slimmer. I mean, it is what it is. That's why I say work out to your best body. But you can get a great clue. You can get a great clue as to what a woman like by what type of sports she like and everything. What type of athletes. And if you look at any sport, that's big about the body. Because during the draft, I mean, what would they look? They were listing their weight, everything, their physicality, what they could do. Talking about a man's arm length, even though he was in a top 10, that killed me. But women be looking at that too. They thinking about that. When a woman's checking out your body, a man's body, she thinking about him naked. Whatever she comfortable with, whoever she wants on top of her, under her, to the side of her, can pick her up, whatever. Indeed, that's why sometimes I'll talk about male exotic dancers and stuff. That tells you a lot. Because they'll have different styles of dances depending on what a woman likes. She might see one type of body, he on a slimmer side, she ain't giving any money, but dude like real muscular and stocky, she giving plenty of money. That's why I say get your best body and then see which women like it. Don't get caught up into thinking there's only one type. There's only one type, or you gotta be this or that. Like for me, I already know women like that running back bill when they see me, when they deal with me. Now, women who don't like that shit don't want to fuck with me. Like I said, back in the day, there was a woman I mentioned her a lot. She ain't wanna deal with me because she like real slim dudes, like stick thin dudes, and that's who she got with. I was cool with it. It is what it is. But see, at the same time, with my body build, get those thick women, those brick house built women and stuff. Those big old booties and shit. Shit, without trying. So, whatever the case though, work on, like I would say just in general, just work on looking like you could play ball. I would say in general, make sure your stomach ain't out there too far. Notice I said too far. Some women like a little bit on a man. But look like you can play something, like you can go out there and do something and everything. So that's the thing. But anyway, y'all have a good weekend and everything. Y'all know I don't do anything on weekends. I gotta let the barber bless me. Well, you ain't hit the park so close, motherfucker. Well, he pulled away. Anyway, gotta let the barber bless me tomorrow morning and everything. Gotta be a little bit cleaner. You know, sometimes I let the shit just go out. And I might do that. I said, give my barber some money, give her some money and everything. And she be doing a good job and shit. Yeah. Used to be cutting my own hair, but there's some stuff. I can only do so much. It's hard to give myself a fade. Take about 2 hours and stuff. You be trying to give yourself a fade. You be like, oh my shit. Let me just get a barber to do it. So, you just gotta like work what you got, see which women like it, everything. Just keep your stomach under control. I say that's the most general thing. Keep your stomach under control, all right? So anyway, I'll check out that video I shared of Cousin T Talk. I shared a lot of his stuff, but he got a lot of deep stuff. But of jocks and cheerleaders. Very important thing. Very important thing. Hey, girl. Anyway, let me get in and get some food, get some vittles. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Peace.